What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning into this video on Elvis is the Man. So a couple days ago, Graceland announced that they found the original acetate of the first recording of That's Alright Mama, the one that Sam Phillips took to Dewey Phillips to play on the radio one night in June 1954. And I try to put myself back at that time period where Elvis was, he knew it was going to be played on the radio, but he was so anxious, he didn't want to sit home and listen to it. So he just went, and just to take his mind off it, he went down to the movie theater. Well, as I was thinking about it, I'm like, you know, that would make a good video. I would bet half of you probably know the events that took place that night, but some of you, probably half of you, I would bet wouldn't. So I made a video describing everything that happened right in that month. The exact date is not known when he actually recorded it, but this was like just as Elvis and Bill and Scotty came to know each other. DJ came along later. My friend and I, actually I know a guy who works at Sun Studios right now, and we were debating the day before what Graceland was going to announce they found. And to me, it's pretty surprising that this record is still there after all these years. Like, it makes you wonder what else is out there. Like, we're wondering what type of footage could still be out there, you know, like from concerts back in the day, maybe something from the 50s. You know, something you wouldn't expect. Well, we didn't expect this, and they played it on the Visit Elvis Instagram page, the one that I look at. I mean, they obviously got the YouTube channel and they got Facebook and stuff. Graceland does, but that's where I watched it. Visit Graceland, the reel that they put out, and they play it, and I don't know if it's just like fake. You know, I mean, I know it's the actual record, but the sound, it's like it sounds just fine, like it hasn't aged, and maybe they're just adding in the audio to it, because I can't imagine that record would be in such good quality after all these years. But I guess Sam Phillips was kind of notorious for like being a little sloppy, so we were, you know, there's no doubt there's some other things that, you know, we might find later on. I wonder how they actually found this, but we'll probably find those details later on. But it's on display at Graceland, so check out the story behind this actual recording.
So the exact date of this recording is unknown. Elvis, Scotty, and Bill record That's Alright Mama in June of 1954 in Memphis. Elvis was just 19 years old. Elvis started playing the song during some downtime in between a few ballads that producer Sam Phillips wasn't too impressed with. The previous year, in 1953, when Elvis was just 18, he recorded My Happiness and That's When Your Heartache Begins for his mom. But Sam was looking for someone and something different. He was looking for a white boy with a black sound. Someone that would be accepted by a white audience. When Sam heard Elvis's cover of this song during that downtime, his ears perked up. They immediately start trying to get this song on record. After a few takes, they had it. Guitar player Scotty Moore and bass player Bill Black weren't too impressed, but Sam knew he had something different. Within the week, Sam brought 2 copies of the song down to local disc jockey Dewey Phillips, who promised to play it after hearing the song. That night, a nervous Elvis went to the movie theater about 2 blocks away, where he had previously worked as an usher, while his mom and dad stayed home, anxiously waiting to hear their son on the radio. When Dewey played it, the phone line started to light up with calls to play it again and more info on this guy. Like, who was he? He kind of sounded black, but they didn't know. They just loved the song. So Dewey starts to make some phone calls to the house to get Elvis to come down to the studio and do an interview on air. Dewey gets a hold of Gladys. Gladys and Vernon go down to the local movie theater where Elvis is at to try to find him. Gladys walks up and down the aisles looking for Elvis in that dark theater. They finally find him and bring him into the studio a few blocks away. Elvis doesn't know what's going on. Dewey has a talk with Elvis, just a lighthearted conversation with him in the studio, because he could tell how nervous he was. But little did Elvis know that he was already live on air.
He recorded a record for Sam Phillips, and one night Sam brought the record up to the radio station, and I listened to the record, and I said, man, one of them's got to go. That Blue Moon, and that's all right. And I got Elvis's home phone number.
Yeah?
And I called, and his mother answered the phone. I said, Mrs. Presley, I said, is Elvis at home? She said, no, he's down here watching the Western at the Sioux are. And I called out to the theater and asked Presley to come up there, and he come on up the stage and we cut loose of that record. You know what I thought was the record called That's All Right? You know what made that record?
What?
Dee-dee-dee-dee. How's it go, Elvis?
I think Dewey knew that if he knew he was going live, if Elvis knew that he was being recorded right then, he would freeze up and they wouldn't be able to see his personality. But Dewey is actually pretty smart. The interview was over before Elvis even knew it began. So, this record is now going to be displayed at Graceland, so we can check it out anytime we want. I haven't been down there in a couple years, but I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out for this when I go down there next.
Well, that's all right, Mama.
Subscribe.